1253 Medina Drive, yes? Uno momento.
Okay. Pues como les dije hace ratito, yo estoy de acuerdo con este plan que
As I
está
said,
haciendo.
I agree with the plan from K to 8.
Pero también me gustaría recalcar algo,
But I would like to focus on
que a los
something.
maestros
The teachers,
no solamente se les eduque para enseñar a los niños,
that the teachers not be educated just to teach the children,
sino para escuchar a sus estudiantes,
to listen to the students.
ya que se han perdido mucho los valores.
Because we lost a lot of
Los
values.
maestros ahora solamente, yo no digo que todos,
Some
porque
teachers, not all of them, but some,
excelentes
they're
maestros,
great teachers.
pero algunos maestros solamente se dedican a ponerles las tareas a los niños,
Some teachers just care about giving the homework,
a que se sienten,
To
a
sit,
que estudien,
to study.
pero no sé, si un niño tiene un problema no lo escuchan,
But if
no
a
son
teacher has a
humanos.
problem, if a child has a problem, the teacher doesn't listen to them.
Wait, is this like a teacher bashing? Like,
We let her finish, Mr. Enzo.
But I, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm just trying to
You can't
understand.
qualify statements, Mr. Enzo, with all due respect.
Is there any good teachers in the high school?
I went to Border High School. There are a lot of great teachers.
Hay muy buenos maestros,
really
pero
great
también
teachers
hay
now.
muchos
But there are a
que
lot
no le
also
ponen empeño a su trabajo.
that do not put passion into their work.
Ellos tienen la obligación
They have the
de
obligation
querer a sus niños,
to
de
love their
querer
children,
sacarlos adelante,
to love, to want them to get ahead in
no
life.
solamente de sentarlos y
Not just to
recibir un
sit
sueldo
down, not
y
just to sit
esperar
down and receive
a
a
que
salary.
¿cómo se dice? Que se jubilen. Ajá.
And waiting to retire.
Ya, otra cosa que quería decir, a nosotros los padres no se nos avisa de este tipo de reuniones.
Us parents, we're not being.
No es que no nos interese la educación de nuestros hijos,
These meetings don't have
sino
enough
que no se
promotion
nos
to us.
avisa.
But we're not advised about the existence of these meetings.
Y yo pienso que nosotros como padres tenemos el derecho de
I thought everything was posted on the website 3 days beforehand.
Councilwoman, speak, please.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you, Ma'am.
que tenemos el derecho de votar por quiénes va a llevar las riendas de nuestras escuelas.
We have the right to vote who will take the revenue for our church, for our
Para la
schools,
educación de nuestros hijos.
for the education of our children.
Eso, gracias.
Thank you.
Excuse me, through the chair. Who's taking the revenue?
Lorraine? Lorraine?
Oh, take control.
Lorraine? The Rains are taking the
Take
revenue?
control, Ray. Take control.
Ah, okay.
Miss Silva, hold on.
One member.
Can we start advertising in that paper? I can't say it.
You not
Well,
A los Diarios,
actually, we have the,
I thought we advertised on that. A los Diarios.
we have the editors of the Latinos Unidos, they are here. So
Oh,
they
where are
will-
the editors from Latinos
And
Unidos?
the owners can stand up.
Okay, sir, one minute, hold on. Does your paper come out weekly, weekly, monthly? Monthly.
First week of each month.
So if we give you a list of all our meetings as a public service, you would put that in?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, great, so there we go. Is this a paper you read?
Kudos to you, man.
Qué bueno que se nos informa de esto, porque así nosotros ya sabemos la manera de asistir a estas reuniones.
Okay, it's great that we have this resource that way we know when to attend these meetings. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. This is excellent, public participation.
You can also hang it on the house of worship, whatever, wherever you meet, you have meeting places.
Pastor, maybe you can hang up the sign, instructions.
Derek Parker left, are we sure? Sure. Pastor, the time has come.
Pastor Glenn Wilson, Lakewood, New Jersey.
I can't show pictures.
I have worked tirelessly, Mr. President, as you know.
3 weeks, I haven't had it. I
But
was forward.
I know you're listening, man.
That's right.
I have worked tirelessly for the last 3
He
years
trabajado sin cesar los últimos 3 años.
to try to get the entire community
Para tratar de conectar a la
to
comunidad.
not only come out in lunches like tonight,
Pero no solamente venir acá,
but I have gone to your parishes
yo he ido a diferentes...
to try to get you to come out and talk about all of the issues of the Lakewood
Yo he
schools.
tratado de salir al público para hablar de todos los problemas
Yes.
Pastor, you continue. He is translating, but don't lose your time waiting for.
I would like to invite Ms. Gupta to come out to every meeting so that she can be aware of all of the issues of Lakewood. And I would appreciate it very much if in the meeting that was done to inform these people of this one issue, if the entire community could have been invited, so that the actual decision to make this change is not just to benefit the Spanish people, but to benefit the entire community. Furthermore, Mr. Gus, you make you said that system, transportation-wise, was very successful in highly disciplined Christian schools. But you did not mention that the system worked successfully in any public schools. I'll get to that in just a
Guys,
minute.
let him finish first.
Yeah, it is not fair for us to come tonight and make such a drastic decision. That's going to put my grandchild on the same bus with a 8th grader. Does anybody here know that right now we have organizations like Feel Free that is working very hard to talk about the gang issues in our schools, crimes in our schools? You know, these are real issues that we need to discuss. So what I'm suggesting today, Mr. President, what I'm suggesting is that we table this issue and let's have greater discussion. We need to bring the entire community to the table. You know, I would like to have all of our sisters and brothers who are here tonight at the table. But we also need to hear from other segments of our community that may very well be affected by this decision. So I am not in favor of making a drastic decision. This might very well work, but we need to have more open discussion, just like we have for other issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Maxena Padron. Please hold on 1 second. 170 Mountain View Road, Lakewood. I'm sorry. Oh.
Buenas noches
Good evening.
a todos los que están aquí.
Everyone that is here.
Mi nombre es Marisela Padrón, soy
Can you
representante,
put the microphone down? Good.
soy representante de la Asociación Cívica Mexicana. Estoy aquí
I'm a representative from the Civil Association, the Hispanic Civil Association,
para representar a la comunidad mexicana y a todos los hispanos.
to help the Mexican community and the Hispanics.
Estamos viendo que ahorita en Amigo del Sur hay una situación muy crítica,
Right now we see there's a critical situation
especialmente con nuestra juventud, y sabemos que hoy en día,
with our youth nowadays. Now we know
sí, nuestros hijos se están perdiendo.
our children are getting lost in this
Nuestros
world.
jóvenes están entrando mucho en pandillas,
Our youth are entering gangs, drugs,
en sexualidad,
sexuality,
y el estudio se está perdiendo.
and education is being lost in the midst of all this.
El respeto
The respect
hacia todo
to everyone
y hacia todos,
and to everyone,
hacia ellos mismos.
to themselves.
¿Sí? Yo creo que el plan
I believe the plan,
K2A es muy bueno.
it's a great plan.
Les voy a decir por qué.
Because let me tell you,
Porque es más fácil controlar en minoría
it's easier to control the minority
que en mayoría.
than the majority.
La situación aquí
The situation here
es que entre más jóvenes haya en estos grupos,
The more
se
you-
aumenta la fuerza.
The more youth that are in this movement, the greater the force will be.
Lo que queremos es debilitar esa fuerza
We want to reduce that strength
y que nuestros hijos
and that our children
se enfoquen en el estudio.
to become focused in their studies.
¿Sí? Soy madre de 4 hijos.
I'm a mother of 4.
Tengo uno en high school, otro
I
middle
have
school
I want to have
y
two
otro
in
que
high
va
school,
a middle school.
one to go to middle
Realmente
school.
creo que este sería un cambio significativo
I
para la
think this is a
comunidad
significant change to the community
y para nuestros jóvenes.
and for our youth.
El éxito está ahí, lo apoyo.
Success is there in the support. Thank you.
Annette, are you here, please? Please be here. Annette Kearney. Take your time. Just give us your address, Annette, please.
Annette Kearney, 15 St. Andrews Court.
Thank you. We'll begin the 4 minutes.
Everyone in this room knows that I am 100% about parental involvement. But I think that parental involvement has to be fair. When I stand up and I speak for the student population of the Lake School District, I don't speak for just one group of students. I do not think it's fair. I'm not going to accuse anyone, but come on, people, we're not stupid. There had to be some meeting somewhere that me, as a parent of a student in the Lakewood School District, was not invited to. And I'm highly offended by that. And not only that, if it did happen, Ms. Silva and whoever else, let me just say, Unite stood up here and asked you guys for a meeting to discuss matters. This could have been one of the things that was discussed. Not one time did you even acknowledge it. But if you can have whatever the gathering was, and again, parents, I'm not against you, and I'm not against the plan, because honestly, I don't know enough about the plan. But what I think needs to happen before this goes for a vote is to put the plan up on the website. You know, our newly designed website. Put it up there so that all the parents in the district can understand the plan. And then from there, not only us, that you guys fully understand what the plan is. Because truth of the matter, after June, Ms. Silva may not even be here. I'm not saying you're not, but at the end of 3 years, which will be the end of this June, she may not be here. So if we're going to do something so drastic in the town, we need to make sure that we fully understand what the plan is. And that's all I have to say.
Through the chair, through the chair. I kind of feel left out because I'm usually accused by the pastor with his chart and his diagrams. There was a meeting, or was there a meeting?
I didn't say
Ma'am, you're out of order.
I didn't say it was. I said.
Because I wasn't at this meeting. Ms. Silva, was there a meeting?
Believe it or not, you and I tonight, we agree, and that's, ooh.
No, we didn't.
But I was just saying that, come on, we didn't all just go like this and all of a sudden people would
Wasn't there a
appear.
TV show like that, remember?
Yeah.
Bewitched. All right, so there was a meeting apparently. Ms. Silva.
I didn't say there was, I said if there was.
Excuse me, 1 second. We've been very accommodating. We're gonna get to everyone. There are certain rules. Hold it. We're not gonna have a debate, nothing against it. Was there a meeting that oh, you're not saying it.
I said if there was.
Oh.
But
Ask your question, Mike. Was there a meeting?
Well, I can say that in Spanish.
This is, may I answer? I'd like to
Por favor.
answer. I am almost really surprised that the same people who have come for 2.5 years and have begged for the presence of the majority of Hispanic parents who are not in these meetings, that they are here today on one issue, yes, the K-8. It's all the reasons that we discussed, safety, my own observations, and my discussions with the administrators of various schools, including the middle school, including the high school. Yes, these are things that are coming up. Whether I am here or not, this idea is a good idea because, and I want everybody to hear me clearly, it is not working. This configuration that we have, for all the reasons that have been enumerated, all the details, it's not working. This 7-8 thing is not working. It hasn't been working. In fact, from the time I came here in 2009, I've been told about the problems at the middle school. One of the things that amazes me is that this is a viable program. It isn't something that Lydia Silva came up with. I've got volumes of research on it that indicate it is very good, particularly for children who have to transition so much in their lives. First of all, from one country to another, from one language to another, and we're saying in this issue, we should have this happen. It's not going to, everything that has to be, if anything, it's going to be so much work for me and the staff. So if I was lazy, I wouldn't do this. But it's in the interest of kids. So whether I survive this place, whether I stay here or not, this is a good idea. Was there a meeting? Sure there was a meeting. There's been meetings ever since the first Mexican-American parade took place in this place that has never taken place. There were meetings then. There was a meeting about it. Especially with real parents.
First of all, you can take that down. Hold up. You can take that down. What I said,
Don't mess with Cardi.
what I said was, and so are we.
Wait, you can't scream at each other. This is out of order.
For 2.5 years, I'll take it down. For 2.5 years, we've been asking you to meet with parents of the general population of the
This is the general population.
No, that's a group of parents out of the
8%.
Okay, so what about the 20%? So what you're saying is, our children don't matter. That's what you're saying. So you can take that, Silver, back to you in New York. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're done. This is not appropriate.
Of course, sure.
Okay, Kim Singleton, I know you're here. Oh, sorry.
Follow up.
Go ahead, Ms. Singleton.
Okay, I want to say to you parents, I'm sure you know by now you've been bamboozled by them. They probably look like you're speaking language. They're just using your vote tonight to get this agenda passed. And I'm sorry that you don't know any better. And you've been used, just like you said, that you've been disrespected in the school system, insulted as far as your immigration status. They're just using you, and after tonight's vote, you probably won't hear from them again. So, having said that, my thing is, I've been trying to reach out to Ms. Silva for 5 months to have a meeting for a child that I have that's classified and failed. I did, however, have 5 minutes of her time on Friday, which her secretary came in twice to give her a countdown that she was supposed to be in a meeting. This is unacceptable, okay? You work for me, and I don't appreciate the fact that I had to sit out all morning long to even get that meeting to happen just for them to get rid of me, okay? Everybody at the school has been bending over backwards to accommodate her, so I don't have a problem with the staff or the teachers. I have a problem with the fact that the school district cannot meet her needs, and I've been trying to have a meeting with Ms. Silva to get that addressed so that she can get an out-of-district placement. You can comment.
Thank you. Excuse me, she's completed. We're not going to discuss an individual student in public.
I'm not talking to the
Thank
student.
you,
I like to know what
Mr. Grunhut.
has
Mr. Grunhut, she's completed. Thank you. Eileen Greco was here. Where is?
I'm here.
Okay. It is hot in here, right? Who thinks it's hot in here? Okay, air conditioning, please. Eileen Greco.
Eileen Greco, Lakewood High School.
Gertner, you're not hot. Stop.
29-year veteran, still working, 2 years, no contract. Number one, since August, I have asked through Mr. Gilson that handicap spots be increased as per the diagram that Officer Jerome Cohen provided Mr. Gilson and the school's buildings and grounds people with. It still has not been done.
What can be increased?
Handicap spots. Okay, I know that we're public/private whenever it suits whomever. However, there are numerous faculty, myself included, that hold handicap placards, and I'm an 8 o'clock arrival. By the time I get there, the others have already taken the spots.
How many spots are there?
There are currently 2. We utilize illegally, which Officer Cohen, yeah, I'm putting that out there. Officer Cohen knows the interior spot with the lines because there is a lack. Now, we have numerous parents, grandparents, etc., that do come
Ms.
and
Greco, how many
need
spots do we need?
Officer Cohen has, and Mr. Gilson
Just
has
tell
this.
I don't know off the top of my head, Mr.
Mr.
Wilson.
Nielsen, how many spots? Don't go into a whole soliloquy. No, tell me now. Can you look on the PD?
I'm thinking 7 sounds like the number.
Through the chair, excuse
It
me.
needs to be approved, that was
Through
the
the
question.
chair, if in fact it's 7 based on Officer Cone, can we get that done by Monday? All in favor? Okay, you have
Bless you.
7.
Okay, secondarily, this past week, we had numerous security people and students and teachers out for a reason.
Monday.
And not just Monday, I'm talking about the entire week. This directly relates to an incident that was publicized in our Asbury Park Press. Being the old one here, I can tell you that in past practice, the superintendent's office normally would put out some sort of blurb to the principals in the building to whom this might have affected. And I don't want to go into the gory details here because I'm not sure what the public is aware of, since I myself don't read the paper, but no. Nothing was said, not one word about how the safety of the people, including the staff and the children of the high school and middle school both, were to be looked after. Not one word. Not one. Why is my question. Why did the superintendents not address this? Why, in the past, when we've had incidents of this nature, regarding the student who made threats against the high school, okay? Please don't poo-poo this, it's a serious
Eileen,
issue.
1 second though, because you and I often agree.
Yes, and I know.
can just tell you this.
I know something was done and it couldn't be divulged, but we needed to know that much.
Let me say this to you. Unfortunately, there seems to be a trial, or fortunately, a trial going on in Toms River that is affecting students both pro and con.
Correct.
We have put out students on home instruction
Got it.
based on safety concerns. In fact, we've also, thanks to the Lakewood Police and Chief Lawson,
Correct.
have had extra police protection.
I know all these things, Mr. Enzebub, but I am a person who has eyes wide open. The rest of the staff, especially newer teachers, were very, very concerned, and nothing as to, don't worry, we've got you covered.
In other words,
Not
you're saying
one word was said.
communication of this.
Yes, please. And it's not from the building principal, who is not a resident or even possibly aware of what goes on in our town, although I know he is aware of it. This always came from superintendent's office, and I find this highly objectionable that that didn't happen.
Okay.
Okay, those issues
So
need
the
to
public is aware, I'll say it again, there were several students. There are several students who allegedly were involved somehow, some way in the ongoing trial regarding a serious event that happened unfortunately in our community. Students who have been either involved either through testimony or family members through testimony. We have had some parents of those people requesting home instruction. That request was granted immediately by Ms. Silva. There are others who did not ask but have been placed on home instruction. And in fact, during that process, one of the students, we believe, does not even live in Lakewood, and that student is now being told, until you can prove it, stay out of Lakewood. So maybe this needs to be better communicated, but we can only tell you the security of our staff is paramount for numerous reasons. Number one, you're our staff. Number two, for liability purposes, in that order. Tonight, Ms. Greco, and I would like to hear your opinion as a veteran, as you said old, I'm not going to say that. As a veteran, did you like the idea, would you not agree that current security company has not been showing up all that often, and that replacing them with our own guards, with our own directors, is definitely positive, would you not?
I can count on one hand the 3 people that I would count on in an emergency situation that currently exists as security in the high school. One of them I feel is inappropriate with people of that age group and should be removed immediately.
Well, we are firing them all in 30 days.
Right, so.
You're agreed.
But I think that that will help, but I can't stress enough. It's the leadership of the administration in the building. It is incumbent upon them to take this and put it in order, because it is not in order.
And that is what the board supported tonight, would you?
I agree with that 100%.
There are other issues.
Yes, the last issue I have is regarding the K through 8. On the face of this proposal, I do not have objections, having come from a K through 8 school myself. I do, however, have serious concerns that have been posed long in the past and will continue to be proposed now in the future. if you were to put an 8th grade student on the same bus with the kindergarten student, I have a fundamental difficulty with that, because if they were my children, I would not permit it, for the simple fact that there are completely different developmental ages, and what is appropriate for one group age-wise is not appropriate for another group age-wise. Okay, I'm going to just go on the face of it, language. Let's just discuss language and verbiage that's used among 7th and 8th grade students. This is a concern now, okay? And I don't think it can be denied. The idea of this again, on the face of it, I understand the numbers that Mr. Kazakis has come up with, and I concur with this totally, except I have one question. Why don't you just move 6th grade over? Because that's what's tested in a group 6, 7, and 8. Those students are more appropriate. You eliminate sending to all the schools, which I know is why the bus routes are like they are right now, and hire some extra people. I'm sorry, did I mention money? Because that's really what it needs to. If you want to truly restructure the district appropriately, I believe that alternative should have been undertaken as well, or at least looked at, and I haven't heard that proposed anywhere. Likewise, I'd like to understand, what is Dr. Dasgupta's credentials?
She is a psychologist, sociologist at Georgian Court College.
Okay, so I'm not being facetious when I ask this question, but where is the documentation that you saw? I would like to look at it. Being a person that's a factual type person, I would like to look at the documentation that led you to the conclusion to do K through 8. I do feel in a family, school, neighborhood type atmosphere, which we used to have in Lakewood, you can attest to this, it is highly beneficial to the student. And if teachers are doing what these students say, then that needs to be addressed. Because I personally am very concerned right now about one last thing that I need the board to help me with. I have numerous students right now who are undocumented. They're in AP class. They're straight A students. They are coming to me and other teachers crying on a daily, regular basis. Going to their guidance counselors, same thing. They can't go to college without spending huge amounts of money as undocumented aliens in this country. What can we do to help them? There has to be something we can do. These are productive members of our school community right now. All of the students that we are dealing with right here are going to be in that position. What can we do to help them? I can't, off the top of my head, think of anything.
Do you have
but
any suggestions?
the only thing I can think of is maybe sponsorship, scholarship, some type of internal scholarship. I mean, seriously, I can think of one girl who cries.
Where does she want to go to college?
She doesn't know because her dream is crushed as far as she's concerned. She's undocumented. Her mother will not apply for whatever the necessary papers are because she's fearful, and I understand that. But she is going to be 17, 18 years old, and she's making plans, and she sees the people around her make plans for college, and her dreams die. Why? We can't do this to our students. If we're going to help our Latino population, let's help all of them. Not just K through 8, but let's help K
Raina Brown, I see you're here. Come up, please.
Raina Brown. 136 Delaware Trail. Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Raina Brown, 136 Delaware Trail. I originally came here to talk about the middle school as far as the Strengthening Families program that's going on, and I would like it to extend to other schools. I have attended myself and my boys, and it's a wonderful program just to how to strengthen your family, different things you can do around the house as far as the community and issues that go on. Another thing is that as far as the middle school, I do applaud them in doing a good job. I am a sub there. And as far as KCOE, I have no comment. And as far as Ms. Silva handling issues with myself and my boys, she did attend to everything that I needed as far as my kids, and I didn't want to give her back. Thank you.
And last but not least, is Mr. Gertner here. Mr. Gertner.
I'll talk to one of our future scholars.
I can't do that.
Steve Gertner, 141 Devonport, Lakewood, New Jersey. Hello, everybody. Hopefully, maybe I'll get a little bit more than 4 minutes today. But we'll
Probably
see.
not.
I'll take his machine. All right. First of all, I commend you all for coming out today. Actually, on both sides. We actually have a lot of parents out here today. I would like, and it's unfortunate the sociologist left, because she could also tell you about research that clearly demonstrates that peer pressure, more so than transitions, affects children's abilities and what happens, particularly negatively. I listened to a lot of the young kids talk, and I was very happy to hear we have young kids involved in what's going on. One thing they kept mentioning was how bad it was in 7th and 8th grade, how bad these kids were. And my thing with them is, if those kids are so
I
bad...
didn't say bad kids. Kids are not bad.
I apologize, you are correct, that's the incorrect terminology. Kids that were misbehaving a little bit more than others. If these kids are misbehaving so poorly, or so badly, do you really want them to be with your brothers and sisters that are in 1st grade and 2nd grade? I understand that you pointed out on the bus, that's not a guarantee, by the way. And this goes to the point I've been making all along about the research. If you get past the abstracts, and you get past the conclusion of the research, and you examine the methodology of the research, and the limitations of the research, you will see in Lakewood, a K-8 is not the best idea. Again, I would have loved for the sociologist to still be here.
She's conducting some studies.
Yeah, she talked about curriculum. She talked about involving parents. Well, guess what? You could do that in a middle school. And if these kids are bad in if these kids are misbehaving in 7th and 8th grade, these are usually learned behaviors from earlier in the elementary school. Therefore, I think what we need to do is look at programs that will benefit. Lakewood used to be a town of leaders, not followers. We used to be a town where we solved the problems that were there without change. We didn't have to change everything. The structure we had works. It's worked for a lot of people. The problem is, and I will tell you, research shows this. I think Albany, New York, the state college at Albany, New York, did a paper. This is what we should be discussing. The difference of high-performing middle schools versus low-performing middle schools. What makes a middle school perform high versus what makes a middle school perform low? Maybe that's where we should be looking, because we're obviously not doing that. And it is an administrative problem. It is a leadership issue. Our leader, and you know what, even in the last state assessment that came down from New Jersey, the education department, the last Lakewood education assessment, one of the things that they said the biggest problems in Lakewood was leadership. School configuration by itself will not solve the problem. It behooves us to really look at what we can do with where we're at now, because what we have works if it's done properly. If we adhere to the middle school philosophy, how much more time do I have?
You
About
have
2 minutes.
16 seconds.
16 seconds? 13. In conclusion, I agree with what Ms. Kearney did say. Before you take a vote on it, I think it is extremely important that you post the research that you have and the information that you have. That's what would be fair, so that at least we could come back at the next meeting and explore this further, or perhaps have a meeting with the Lakewood Unite people and the leadership of the Hispanic community, along with the board and superintendent. That's what should happen before we make this move. Thank you, and good night.
Through the chair, I would just like to say, I've heard meetings, and every group in Lakewood has meetings, regardless if they admit it or not. I personally don't think there was anything wrong with the Latinos having meetings. You do represent 80% of the public schools. The last 3 board meetings, there have been more and more Latinos coming down to our board meetings. We need you to continue. your children in our district, the way things are going to get changed if we sit together and react together. By not coming down, we're going to take 4 steps backward. Over the last 3 meetings, we made great strides to keep it up.
Mr. Rush, please, 1 minute. Hold it. Hadari and Mr. Gilson. Miss, hold, no, wait. Could you come back for a second? Fred, we know each other too well. Fred. You're a young man too. Just give me 1 second. Miss Silva. We have Mr. Gilson still here?
Yes.
And we have, can you come? And Mr. Williams, Hadari. Hadari Williams is our attendance officer, and actually he has been trying over the last several years to get our truancy policy down, and he goes to court often with parents and guardians, and he has put together with Mr. Gilson, which Ms. Silva reviewed, an attendance policy that you are saying is needed to be acted upon immediately. Carl, what are you doing? Soliciting votes? At this point, could you just give us a brief overview, Ms. Silva? Is that okay? Because
Yes.
Hadari works hard day and night, and he's telling me that this attendance policy is needed. Is that right? Can you give?
It's actually the attendance policy regulations.
Okay, so what do you need us to do to make this happen, Mr. Gilson or Hadari?
I need you to review it and approve it so that it can be put into effect, so that we can begin to implement it within our schools.
Okay, so that is the attendance policy, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages, and that's it, right?
There's a high school policy and elementary school.
That's the high school, and for the elementary school. I know, let me just finish the Tracy. And there's an elementary school one for 3. This would need 2 readings. This would be 2 readings. Mr. Tim, this would be 2 readings. So if we could approve, is this what your recommendation is, Mr. Williams?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Gilson, Ms. Silva, Ms. Winters, Ms. anyone else. If this is your recommendation, can we put this on for a first reading this evening? We will post it on the website, our new website, and then by the next meeting we can have a second reading. Would that be acceptable to you, Ms. Silva?
Yes, it would be.
Is the board okay with posting and on the website and having approving this for a first reading this evening? All in favor? Okay. Anyone against? What was that? A wave? Anyone against? Seeing none, your policy has been approved for a first reading, second reading. Mr. Trishada, are you still here?
Trishada. My names are on there, whatever we pronounce it.
Mr. Trishetta, are you here? Here it is. Post these on the website and get them for public input. Mr. Williams, have we made you happy this evening?
Yes, you have.
And that's our goal. Thank you. Okay.
For the chair.
We're now done with public. No, sorry. No.
It's concerned.
This is
It's concerned to the question to the about the
Mrs. Hold on, you have to wait a minute. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. There are rules here.
For the chair.
1 minute, hold on. Ms. Micchio has asked me to ask, are there any parents here of kindergarten students? Kindergarten or first grade students? Any parents of kindergarten or first grade students? Maybe they don't understand me. Say in Spanish.
Hay padres aquí que tienen hijos en el kinder o primer grado, segundo grado.
Kindergarten. Yes. Ms. Micchio, there are the 2 people. Did you have a question?
She wanted to know how they felt about the
Are you in favor of the K-8? Are you okay?
I'm sorry, I'm speaking Spanish.
How do you feel about
Vamos a hacer un programa de kindergarten hasta grado.
Estoy a favor porque mis hijos tienen
Por
que
favor.
sí estoy a favor de kindergarten hasta 8º grado.
She's in favor for K-8.
And you have a student who's in kindergarten or first grade?
Sí, estoy a favor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tengo hijos que ven ya en
Gracias.
tengo niños en
Through the
kindergarten.
chair. Yes. I would just like to mention that I attended one PTO meeting at the high school, and at the high school I made a commitment that I would start getting the senior communities the donations for the PTO.
We're in the middle of a discussion about K to 8.
So what? People would be leaving.
No one's leaving. Anyone leaving? Say that in Spanish. Okay. Now that we've heard Carl, we're gonna get back to you. No, you're leaving?
I'm leaving.
Why? Wait a minute, you just said you're in favor.
Michael, I want to do this, please.
Oh, okay.
The Unclave Men's Club is making a donation to each PTO at the Clark, Spruce, Clifton, and Oak Street for $100. I expect all the committees and clubs at the Enclave to make donations to all the schools this year. And I'm working with the Fairways right now and some other senior communities.
Let's have a hand for Carl and the senior community. What about the middle school and high school? You not donate to them?
There's only a certain amount of money, and right now.
You know what? I'm donating $100.
I would also like to donate $100. Come on, write me down for 100, Carl.
All the schools?
Carl, you can put me down also, bro. Mr. Greenspan would also like to donate 100.
Okay.
Anybody else would like to make any donations for Carl?
just raised more money than Enclave right here.
What's nice is we're like a family.
I don't see any other community donating.
You're not, Carl. You're in line.
Mr. Gruna, would you like to donate? Write down Mr. Gruna for $100.
School, right?
What school you at?
High school.
This appeal has proved to be fruitful.
All right, now that we did that, Carl, give me 1 second. Is there any more discussion by the administration? The public's over. Stay here. Nothing. Is there, stop it.
Yes.
Is there any more discussion, please, on K to 8?
Now, if I hear none, I'd like to make a motion after we've heard everybody.
Well, we've already heard the public.
That's right. So now I'd like to go back to what I've heard.
Can I ask a few questions, Ms. Silva? Number one, if this would be considered, when is it for? September?
September 2012, yes.
All right. I'm just a simple local lawyer, but that's what the guy in Watergate said, Archibald Cox. Number two, is our LAA in favor of this? Our principals, are they in favor of this, Ms. Silva?
The last time I met with them, yes, they are.
Okay. Is there any problem with teachers with certificates and things like that for K to 8?
There will be.
Or do we have that under control? No one's going to lose their job, or are they? Or
No, in fact, we'll probably need more middle school teachers.
Oh.
I'm the ones that are here.
And have we done a room space comparison or capacity? And do we have the room?
Yes, we do. In fact, that's one of the reasons that I'm proposing it, because it'll equalize much more. It's very disparate. If we looked at the numbers that were presented by Gus, and we have other numbers.
Well, Gus is the boss. I'm talking about the rooms in the building.
Yes, one of the things that I have now, if you'll wait 1 second.
Well, no,
The capacity at the Clark Street School.
there's no such thing as street. It's Clark.
I'm sorry. At the Clark School is 662. At Clifton is 900. All of what I'm saying is with an average class size of 25. At the Spruce Street School, it's 950. At Oak, it's 1,000. At the proposed new elementary school, which is the current middle school, it would be 1,000.
So what you're saying is what with those numbers?
We would be able to redistribute. For example, right now at the Spruce School, what we have is 11 kindergartners at the classes. It should be spread out throughout the whole district. There's a variety of reasons for that, but we'll be able to do better programming. I think also utilize more rooms. One of the things that I'm also looking at is expanding some of the special education programs that we are not able to do.
Excellent. Orient District, excellent.
Therefore, the capacity we've addressed in each school.
But I have one more question because there seems to be some surprise by our teaching staff as to this. Is this news to them, Ms. Silva, or have they been discussing?
Actually, I mentioned it to the LEA leadership last spring, and subsequent to that, we have talked about it.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, now that we've gotten those answers, all right. Thank you. All right. Is this going to cost less money or more money?
It's not about money.
Well, it's not about money, but it always is about money. So let's stop fooling ourselves that it's not about money. Do we have money?
We're going to be saving money on one end with regard to transportation if it takes place the way we're proposing. Where we will have to spend money is retrofitting 2 wings in the middle school, because at this point, as you know, they don't have the appropriate size bathrooms. So that is going to cost money.
But ultimately, that will get paid back over the years.
Yes, because of the proposed, what we calculate might be the savings in transportation.
I understand. I understand. Thank you.
18 or
Okay,
13-year-old?